I think if you look at the circumstances around him, and having somebody like Michael Jordan as your quote unquote mentor, and the way Michael Jordan handled Kwame Brown, there's no way that you can expect any 17-year-old to be able to live up to the expectations of being the number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft and to be the savior of a franchise that really has not been going in any direction but down over the course of its, let's say, history. So Kwame Brown, as a young kid, was not able to withstand that kind of pressure. But even at that, the kid still played 12 years in the NBA. He still played 12 years in the NBA. So this cat actually was able to progress and become a role player to a certain extent. And he wasn't a superstar. But, I mean, to play 12 years, you ain't no bust. Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson on the All the Smoke podcast, they took shots at this guy. More particularly, Matt Barnes took shots at this guy, which is bad enough. But, okay, he had a little snide remark about Kwame Brown and the situation about when him and I believe it was Gasol got traded to the Lakers, and Matt Barnes made a little snide comment about that.
Well, we traded Marc Gasol,
yeah, that's what people,
right?
oh, you got him for nothing, not realizing that what you guys gave him was Marc Gasol.
And Kwame Brown. And so,
Marc Gasol.
That was a one-man trade.
He could have been. Imagine
What
happened.
So, I mean, in an underhanded way, Matt Barnes is like, just Marc Gasol. He's not crediting, he's not acknowledging even that Kwame Brown was one of the players that was there. Like, which is really throwing some heavy shade because, I mean, that guy was a professional. He played ball. Like, he's making him a punchline yet again. So,
well, we traded Marc Gasol,
yeah, that's what people,
right?
oh, you got him for nothing, not realizing that what you guys gave him was Marc Gasol.
And Kwame Brown. And so,
Marc Gasol.
that was a one-man.
He goes Marc Gasol. No, and Marc Gasol. Just Marc. That was a one-man trade. That's kind of fucked up. But
Trade.
he could have been. Imagine being an 18-year-old kid getting drafted number 1 by your idol, Michael Jordan. We know Michael Jordan's personality. Imagine that personality
Slapped him in the face.
going towards a 18-year-old kid. So when you're making him look little to his peers, he loses his confidence. So when I get there, he doesn't have confidence.
And I think that is a good summary of Kwame Brown's dilemma that kind of sent his career off the rails. That kind of derailed the possibility of him being able to live up to his draft status. Was that he was drafted by the wrong kind of person. Michael Jordan, nobody will ever, I mean, people will try, but nobody could ever convince me or 99.9% of the rest of the population that Michael Jordan is not the best basketball player to have ever played the game and potentially the best athlete to ever play in sports, potentially. But as a motivator, Michael Jordan's style of motivation is not the kind of style of motivation that you want to introduce to any young player who does not have experience, especially as a high school grad. Like, this kid is just out of high school, right? Just out of high school. He is literally incapable of being able to process and actually like benefit from anything in the way of Michael Jordan's style of motivation, because Michael Jordan is an asshole. He's an asshole. And that's how he motivates. He motivates through, he is the motivator through fear, because he will rip you on the court for costing him a win. He'll rip you on the court for costing him. He'll rip you in the locker room for costing him. But that's also part of his greatness. That's part of his greatness. But he's not, I mean, he is notoriously bad at evaluating talent. He's notoriously bad at actually building a team. But we know what his exploits are on the court. I mean, there's no mistaking the greatness that he has. But that's what doomed Kwame Brown right there.
You know what I mean? So it's trying to build this man child up.
All the Smoke is one of my favorite podcasts.
Now, this is the part that irritates me. This is the part that I actually did have a big problem with this guy. And this is where he goes in. Okay, I see somebody saying, I see MY Blackout, Kobe was like that too. Yeah, Kobe was like that too. I would never want Kobe to be coaching or being the general manager of a professional basketball franchise. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. I would never have wanted him to be in that position because, look, at the end of the day, Michael Jordan didn't pick Kwame Brown. Michael Jordan actually was not the decision maker on that. That was the owner of the Wizards who made that decision to pick Kwame Brown. And, Jordan and Kobe had that similar style. These guys on the court, they created diamonds on the court because they put so much pressure on their teammates to perform better, to dig deeper in a very stern and a very, aggressive manner. And that's not the best way to approach it with young players. They just, the young players, more impressionable, more easily molded, but you have to do it in a way that requires a lot of finesse and a lot of actual understanding of how to handle a person's psyche, because you can't do that by just applying pressure to them. They're going to explode, and it's going to be in the worst way. And that's why when you see a lot of these guys who actually extracted their own greatness through pressure, a lot of those guys are bad coaches. Because that mentality that they've always leaned on to be great, it doesn't work that way in coaching. It's different. It's a different element. And it requires a little bit more of a nuanced approach and a little bit more patience and to a certain extent, a little bit more coddling of the athlete, because the athlete is being molded, especially a young one like him. You have to finesse it. It has to be something that is very much almost like a fatherly, almost like a parental relationship with a young guy like that, where you have to try and you have to bring positive with teaching and with critiquing in a very nuanced way, and he just was not capable of that.
And first of all, y'all know Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, those are my partners. You can catch All the Smoke podcast on the Black Effect iHeartRadio podcast network. I was texting with Matt last night, but let me tell y'all something. Leave Kwame Brown alone. I don't know if y'all know.
Now, this is the part. This is what, to me, this shows the snake in him. He's saying leave Kwame Brown alone, but watch as he's going to begin to explain everything that sits behind that simple statement of leave Kwame Brown alone. Why? Listen to him.
No, but you could do a little research. Kwame Brown was born in Charleston, South Carolina. I don't think I've ever met Kwame, but I know a lot of his family. His family lived in Mounts Corner, South Carolina. His father's name was Willie Brown. I don't know how many kids Willie Brown had. I don't know how many siblings Kwame Brown got, but I went to school with his sister.
So he's already putting himself in a circle saying, oh, I know his family. I know Kwame Brown. I understand his family situation. And, it's some bitch ass stuff to do unless you truly know a cat. You don't go around saying you know him like this when you're talking about something on a serious topic and you don't really know him like that.
And I went to school with one of his brothers. Let me tell y'all something. Kwame's father in the 90s, I remember this story. He beat a woman with an axe handle. It was his girlfriend. And the rumor was he buried her alive.
Why? Why would you talk about Kwame Brown's father? Not only did you drop his name, but you also have are bringing to light a situation that has nothing to do with Kwame. It has nothing to do with Kwame Brown. Nothing at all. Not even related to him. And you bring his family into this when they have nothing to do with the issue at hand.
Buried her in the area that I grew up in, if I remember correctly. I've been trying to call my dad since yesterday to confirm the whole story because I literally forgot about this until yesterday. But
he forgot about it till yesterday. See, these are the motherfuckers right here who always want to be a part of a conversation that nobody asked them to be involved in it. Like, he is putting himself into a circle that nobody invited him to be in, and now he's going to receive as much flame as Matt Barnes and Gilbert Arenas and Steven Jackson got when they were talking, because again, you're really doing this man dirty. You're not handling it right. You're not handling it right. If you're going to talk about him, talk about him. Don't talk about his family.
The woman died and he got arrested. If he's still alive, he's in prison for life because he got caught because he left South Carolina after the murder and came back for his paycheck. Let me tell you something else. His other brother, I don't know if him and Kwame were close, but his other brother shot his baby mama several times and then killed himself. That was like in 2008.
This dude is literally brought this guy's father and his brother and his sister into a conversation that nobody asked him to bring them into. That he really should feel stupid. He should feel rotten to even go there. You don't bring talk about Kwame Brown. Don't talk about his family members. And he's ranting off about his family members being criminals. Like, that's what he's getting at right now. So what he's doing is he's kind of perpetuating that whole notion that the sins of the father are the sins of the son, and that this is going to and that Kwame Brown is somebody who, if we talk about him and make fun of him, he's gonna come kill us.
And his other brother, Kwame's other brother, just went to jail for murder like 3 years ago. All of this you can Google. I'm saying all that to say, leave Kwame alone. That man has been quiet for 20 years. He don't bother nobody. Clearly all that, all that he's a bust stuff gets to him, and you don't know what people are going through or have been through, but I've seen folks snap for less, and it looks like, Kwame is snapping. And if you look at the history of men in his family, you would know his men in his family have a history of snapping. Leave Kwame Brown alone.
See, to me, that's where I think that Charlamagne the God is wrong. Like, you need to shut all that down. You need to shut up. You can't talk about literally talking about a dude's family as murderers and criminals, and that's what's in his future, or you're throwing shade in saying that because we calling him a bust, something that obviously gets to him, something that obviously gets under his skin, that's more shade. You're trying to paint the picture that he is somebody who is going to react in a violent way. Fair warning. I don't think this is, I don't know that this is edited. A lot of cussing. Couple of words that might get your boy flagged. I don't know. Make sure you hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed. But this was his response. Here's hoping that, because I'm not about to, scan through it just to make sure they ain't got cuss words. I mean, I'm just going to have to live with it. But here is his response. I believe this is his response to Charlamagne. All right. Here we go.
Yeah. That mean media machine is out after a nigga, boy. Yeah. Up next. Yes. Now the Breakfast Club done joined in. Now I think y'all gonna have to be the next victim. So Charlamagne.
He said, I already got a couple bodies in the back of the truck. Since they want to talk about killers.
Ain't the guy. You want to talk as if you know me because, like I say, you part of that Buffole too. you like Steven Jackson and Becky with the good hair. Y'all probably be at them same parties. So, Steven Jackson, I mean, this Charlamagne the God case guy that actually pled guilty and got away with it. We're gonna name you got away with it. So because I called two gentlemen that you can clearly hear on your podcast that they tapped somebody and said only one trade, only one person was part of the trade. You mean to tell me you gonna purport the story the way that you see fit? You wanna talk about a brother that I never met, that my father had children outside of his marriage, just like DJ Envy cheating ass? So I'm wrong because my father had a son at the time that I never met. So you gonna put out to the world that like I'm some killer. When I asked these gentlemen and they said they was joking.
See, I think that he's right on. He's right on with it. Like, these dudes really, this dude Charlamagne really put him out there like this dude was a killer. Like he was somebody who's on snap and come kill you. When he doesn't even know he doesn't even know that Kwame Brown even knows those people. Like he just explained right here. Like you can't do that and be somebody with credibility. That doesn't, it's not compatible. It's just not compatible.
So now it's time to light your little ass up too. We're gonna find that girl you punk, allegedly. Matter of fact, we ain't gotta say alleged because you on the docket, bitch. So we gonna talk about you. Since you punk ass beta males that's on the Breakfast Club, DJ Envy, no neck having punk weasel ass, you just like the rest of them niggas lying all the goddamn time. And Charlamagne, you shut your punk ass up, nigga. Cause since when words became violent, you niggas taking too many marching orders from women. You dumb son of a bitch. In the definition of the word violence, it start with physical altercation, physical contact, not words, bitch. So I don't subscribe to that. So I'll see you in a minute to get violent on YouTube, you punk motherfucker. Y'all talking about somebody violent because they talking. They ain't violent when they saying they gonna come to Atlanta. They not violent. I'm the violent one. That's the message y'all want to put out. My daddy go to jail, so it's my fault. Bitch ass nigga, I told you. See how y'all want to tell the story? See people? See how they want to tell the story? A rose that grew through the cement. I don't got nothing to do with what my daddy did, bitch. I got my own hands, my own arms, and my own brain. And you got your own body and your own penis that allegedly you used to a girl, you punk bitch. And you so protected, you bald head, weasel face, bleach face motherfucker that nobody taking you off air for a girl. But you get up on camera talking about protect all women. And now a man finally calling your bitch ass out. Now.
Well, alrighty then. Man. Yo. Hold on, let's finish it.
I'm violent from my truck. I'm a violent guy from my truck talking on the phone. Fuck out of here. See you on YouTube, bitch.
Wow. So that's the response, right? So that's the response from Charlamagne. I mean, from Kwame Brown eviscerating Charlamagne and bringing to the forefront the issue. And you know what? I got to look this up while I'm sitting here. I got to look this up. I'm sure this is being looked up. I'm sure this is being looked up on the internet right now. Ooh, June 10th, 2019. Whoa! Look, this was like the first site that came up. All right. When I looked it up. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys can all see this. I don't need to read it. I hope not. Charlamagne the God, accuser, wants case reopened years after radio host was arrested for relations with a very young person. Whoa, I did not even know all this. One of the hosts of the morning radio show, The Breakfast Club, was arrested years ago on a charge of relationship misconduct with a young individual after a 15-year-old accused him of a very, very bad thing. He ended up pleading guilty to a much lesser charge, but now the alleged victim is all grown up and wants a criminal case against the star reopened. According to the documents obtained by The Blast, Charlamagne, a.k.a. Leonard Larry McKelvey. Yeah, I guess you would want to change your name if you're Leonard Larry. Leonard Larry McKelvey was arrested, this was in 2001, on a warrant stemming from a charge of criminal conduct with a minor in the second degree for an incident that allegedly occurred the month before. He was then 22 years old, and he was accused of willfully, unlawfully, and feloniously engaging in, P&V intercourse with a 15-year-old female. Whoa. I mean, hold on. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so this is kind of this is fucked up. According, let's see, prosecutor said on the morning of June 9th, Berkeley County Sheriff's Office was contacted by the victim's mother, who had been told her daughter was assaulted. The 15-year-old was transported to a local hospital where examinations by doctors corroborated her story that an assault had occurred. So she actually went through the kit, and they said yes. Hold on. The hospital also obtained a statement from the girl implicating Charlamagne in the alleged assault. Okay. Police noted the girls appeared to be very intoxicated and not know where they were or how they got to the location. Reed was crying uncontrollably, and her friend explained that someone had picked them up from a nearby residence and gave them a liquid to drink that one of the girls claimed tasted like soda. Ooh. Somebody got roofied. Damn. Reed's friend said the last thing she remembered was waking up with a man trying to kiss her. She told the officer she fought the man off and then found Reed in the room across from where she was, naked and crying, stating she had been. The girl then called her mom, who called 911. Wow. So, okay, long story short, she was uncooperative with the prosecution, and as a result, they felt the conviction of Charlamagne on the arrest charged would be impossible. He ultimately pled guilty to a lesser charge of contributing to the delinquency of a minor and was sentenced to 3 years of probation. And it says, fast forward 16 years later, and 32-year-old Jessica Reed now says she never received closure on the incident and has not been able to get over it. Wow. I just bring this back to full circle that Kwame Brown came and really put his foot down on this guy in particular because the duplicity and the contradictory nature of everything that Charlamagne talks about that he stands for, and how he has went against all these things that he says he stands for, both in saying protect all women, and also in the fact that, you know, as a African-American brother, you come out and you literally smear this man's name, literally smear his name because of actions that his father took and a brother that he never knew, who was really a half brother, somebody who he never knew, never met, who committed a crime that had nothing to do with him, a father who committed crimes that had nothing to do with him. I mean, this is what people, this is the kind of thing that people will try and do to try and make you look like an undesirable. And for, you know, and I'm going a little bit right now on how it is in the black culture, but for black folks to do that to each other is, and for, especially for somebody who claims that that's what he's 100% against, in Charlamagne, it's one thing if you just an asshole and you an asshole to everybody and that's how you is. But Charlamagne is one of them snake motherfuckers. He's one of those slivering motherfuckers who plays the intellectual, but when you really put it to the test, he's the prototypical scumbag.